Yeah, let's just warm up.
La 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 la. Oh, what did I do to die today? At a minute or two till two. La 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 la. A distinctly difficult thing to say.
What am I doing?
Yet harder still to do.
What am I doing?
You're jerking off two guys that are really close to you.
Okay. Isn't that what you did?
I don't remember this game.
I think it's...
I thought this was just like... I thought you were just asking me. This is improv?
You're not supposed to give...
It was confusing. Why did you start jerking those two dudes off next to you and then ask me what you're doing? I didn't realize I was supposed to come up with something else. Oh, what did I do to die today?
Right.
I every so often that I like say that in the car. What did
Really?
What did I do to die today?
It's a good
a minute or two.
mnemonic device. What you're supposed to remember, I have no idea.
Well, it takes a big turn about halfway through. What to do to die today at a minute or two till two. A distinctly difficult thing to say, yet harder still to do. And the dragon will come when he hears the drum. Whoa! We were just talking about like a fun little rhyme. Like we were just talking about
distinctly
speech.
difficult thing to say, yet harder still to do. And when the 6 black orbs are brought to the core, to the shrine of Hancock, the blackness will rise.
Whoa, man! We just needed like a fun.
Money's not real, though. It's just like
Christ,
it's a fake, false concept.
We got Hamilton to thank for that.
Really?
Well, I think they were doing like gold.
They're like, there's no way tickets could be this expensive when money is related to something.
Yeah, we have Hamilton to
This
thank.
is Hamilton unraveled the economy. If a Broadway ticket could be $3,000,
Yeah, we're in bad shape. That's bad news. That is silly as fuck.
Yeah.
It should just be sold out. Like it can just.
why would anybody want to go see a rap historical musical?
Well, I mean,
that is silly as hell.
It's a fantastic show.
I want to shit on him, and then I watched Moana and loved every fucking little second of it, and I soaked it all up with my dirty little tongue. And then I read that it was...
Hold on. You weren't watching it, right?
Wait, that's how you watch movies? And then I saw it was Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I was like, oh, damn, I feel so bad for saying that guy deserves to be stuffed in a locker.
Here's what's funny about him is like, because I really do like him a lot, and I like... I could say legitimately, as much as I have some cringy things with them where it's like, it's that thing where maybe you're seeing dark sides of not even dark sides of yourself, but elements of yourself that you don't love. And when you're seeing someone be bombastic about those elements, you're kind of like, shut up.
Right.
Stop.
That's it.
Right.
So you just touched upon the things you hate in others are the things you hate yourself
right.
the most.
So this is ultimately what I'm getting at though, is I like how you put it one time. Because for better, you could still say this in a positive way, but he is what happens when a theater kid isn't bullied enough. Yeah. Like, because what you get bullied enough times where you just chill and you stop.
Right.
And
all that
like,
time he should have been spent like locked in a locker. He was writing, and then it got produced.
Right.
What the fuck happened there?
Ben Franklin played guitar. Like, shut up, Lynn. But that didn't happen.
But I guess
his dad was really cool and everything. Like he wasn't like dad. So I was thinking, like, what if, so you know, like our neighborhood, how it's like, oh, lots of low income Latin families. What if everyone sings? Get out of here.
It's very, and I think it actually also just speaks to Broadway itself kind of being in a, I guess, creative rut. It's a similar thing with Hollywood where nobody wants to take risks on things. So you're seeing a lot of adaptation, a lot of Disney stuff. So when a new thing comes along, like a totally new thing,
right, like Hamilton.
It's like Hamilton, you know, whether it's incredibly wonderful or not, it's like, oh fuck, this is really fresh and like interesting.
And it is great. I mean, dude, it's great. It's
it's
like an affecting story. You got to see it, man. You got to see it, or at least like truly dedicate the listen through. Like just sit and listen. Because it hits you, because you don't think it will either. Because as much as I was, even the first time I listened through it, I was like, it would lose me here and there where I'm like again, it was like, just can we fucking chill? Like, just don't do, come on. That, we're doing that.
But
then it would
quit singing in his Applebee's. Cut it out. Stop it.
But then it would happen, like then someone dies or whatever, or there's a particularly affecting turn of phrase where you just like, fuck. Well, I cried the first time we listened through it. There are parts of it that
$1,600 on a hip hop musical.
That was my review. Hamilton made me cry because I have no money anymore.
Welcome to Seasonable Wreath. I am Tim Kish, joined who?
Bye, Dom.
And who else is here? Creak, creak, creak. No one. It's Tony the Creaking Ghost.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it?
Hey, my buddy
Creaky Swing.
There is no one. There's no one else here. It's a
weird
Duocast.
choice. We really hit the bottom of the barrel here.
And people tune into Reasonable Beef for the games and the characters.
Right.
Like Tony the Creaky Swing.
Tim H calls. He's like, guys, you could have asked. And he's like, no.
No. Listen, we got Tony now.
Tony's doing stand-up these days. He needs a bit of a plug.
That is something that I would do, though. It's just like, oh, yeah, no. I'm just going to set the mic up here and record this instead of not put an episode up. Some of our earlier episodes sound like I'm like on a creaky swing in outer space, like hurtling through infinity.
That was when we were doing it through like the 3 different mics through my computer.
Yes.
That was a nightmare.
It was before we had
That's
Nick.
like, dude, it's over a year now, right?
Yeah.
When did we start? September?
September of 20...
Wow, we didn't celebrate, did we? We didn't like even talk about it at all.
We said, like, it's been a year.
September
September 2016. Huh. But it didn't. We didn't really start until January. That's when the good episodes.
Oh, is that true?
March is when the good episodes started.
Wow, look at that.
Hey, so if you're trying to jump back into Reasonable Beef and this is your first episode, go back to the ones in March. I think the split episode is the first one. Jesus Christ! I had a latte.
Yep, radio. How many more gross noises that come from the mouth?
We saw The Disaster Artist.
Yes, we did.
It just came out this year, 2017. James Franco's.
He directed, I know, a movie about dirty people in the woods at one point. I don't remember what it was called. It was set in the past. What? I don't think that was it. Nah.
There's a million ways you could have taken that.
Pretty sure it wasn't Hook. You remember when he went like nuts a few years ago, where he was like going to like 6 different schools at one time, and making short films and
like teaching classes,
and sleeping,
whatever that is.
Yeah, right. Film. What I was getting at was James Franco. I think that was when he hit this point in his career and life where he was being like, oh, I want to be a little smarter. I want to like learn more stuff. I want to try different things I haven't tried before. He put out a book of poetry. I don't even know if it was good, but he did it. I appreciate that stuff. Because what else do you do? And then that's such a place of privilege to be able to get to the point where you're so wealthy that you're like, you know what? I'm going to go to, what are the Ivy League schools? Can you just quickly write them down? Okay, all of those is where I'm going to go to.
I'm going to get jobs there and I'm going to teach a class on.
I think that sounds fun. I think I'm going to do that because I want to be better. But yeah, I don't know. I like him. I went in and out from like being frustrated with him. Because even, I mean, so how long do we, what's the time? How far in are we right now? Okay, 5 minutes in, I'm about to bring up Spider-Man.
Wait, let me just say first, I want to correct myself. I'm dead wrong. James Franco's directed quite a few movies. Like a lot of shit I've never heard of. I guess they're like smaller stuff. He's been in a lot more stuff than I realized.
He's been in a lot, man.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's almost like indie Nick Cage, where he just shows up in a bunch of different shit, but it's all kind of got cred to it in a way.
He did General Hospital, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah,
where he just decided to be on a soap opera for a little while.
For like 2 years.
After being a huge movie, he's like, I'm just going to do this one.
Very strange.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
I was at that point though, being like, oh, he's unhinged. Like, I don't.
Right.
And it was kind of frustrating me because also I was feeling like in everything he was in, he wasn't as good as it seemed like he was just being himself. And he always seemed stoned. I mean, as of Spider-Man 2, he seemed a little out of it. That was maybe like the borderline because you could still tell there were parts where he really cared and gave it his all.
Yeah, but he was also like, he had star power, I guess, where he just showed up to set high. She's like, oh, I'm going to be eating pie in this scene. Nice big plate. Yeah, and it's going to be, I just keep bringing it to me.
Yeah, just keep the pie coming.
How's the pie? It's fucking yum. It's good.
Sick pie. But you watch like the first Spider-Man, the performance, like what he gives to Harry Osborn is unnecessary. Like you watch him and you're like, I don't know, when that movie came out, you'd be like, oh, this is like a good young actor. He's like, he looks like he can. And that was my impression because I didn't really know who he was. I just knew he was Harry Osborn. Right. And my impression of him was like, oh, he's like a serious actor. He like is good. And I don't know. It's interesting.
Sure, yeah. He's not just like, some young gun.
And now
hotshot shows up, bees in movies and does production. He's like, oh no, this guy's an actor.
He looks like, fucking Oz is insane. Go watch that movie for how little it looks like he cares that he's in the movie.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Down to the voice, his face the whole time. He looks like he hadn't seen the set before he got there. And the whole time he's just like, yeah, there's a conversation with him and Mila Kunis where she's like, I'm a witch. And he's like, what? And he's huge smile. And he's like, you mean like on a broom? It's like, that was just James. He was having a conversation.
Yes. And I mean, but also that movie is CGI.
Yes.
Nobody talking anything. So it's the monster trucks thing where it's like, look, it's amazing that anyone gave any kind of performance talking to like either nothing or like a man in a fuzzy green suit who's like going, ooh, like pretending to be this creature.
I don't think you did that. Yeah. That would be bad for sound, I think.
Todd, just body language. You're a creature, but I'm a squid.
But I thought he would like have like a squid noise. I like James Franco. I really do.
Yeah,
I appreciate him.
He's a kind of thing that grows on you,
like a hat.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. What was that we said about showing up high to work or whatever? Like, we're complete. That's the saddest part. This is as sober as we've ever done these.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't have a guest. We didn't really talk about that, but we don't.
That's true.
It'll say it on the link, I guess.
Yeah. I already said we're doing a Duocast at the beginning.
I don't listen when you talk.
All right, we'll jump into this. So anyway, so James Franco stars as Tommy Wiseau. His brother Dave Franco stars as I think Greg Sestero. That's the name of the character, or actual person as well. He wrote this book, this tell-all book, I guess 10 years after the fact. Movie came out in 2003.
I read this book when I was out here in 2013 when they were first trying to see who wanted to make it.
Interesting. So let me ask you a question. When was the first time you saw The Room?
It must have been like 2011 with Chris Lugero in New York.
Yeah,
he had already been doing it for. It was like, I mean, I guess that's the intro to this movie. Always is someone you know.
Yeah, someone
has done it before, and you just get kind of roped into it.
Yeah, it's the same old story with Rocky Horror Picture Show and like any kind of quote unquote cult movie.
Yeah,
but this grew even beyond that, just because I think that it ascended in a time when memeing was like first blossoming, like and it just became such a meme in and of itself. Like in the classical sense of the word, every cult movie is a meme. It's like literally the idea of it, which is like a concept that spreads from person to person, like sort of like a virus,
right? Like a sickness, like an illness,
like a disease,
right, like
that's creeping.
Yes.
We talk about this all the time. In fact, I think in a lot of ways, your new short film is an interesting companion piece to this of like, you know what it's like for everyone to get what they want? Like some things just probably shouldn't get made. Sure. This is when you fight against the grain and just go, okay, I have enough capital to make it, and then it gets made. Yes, and it's truly insane. But just to talk about what The Room means to people is that like I feel like a lot of people have fallen off of it. This feels a little bit late in the game, like, you know, the memes and the jokes have already been it. So it's very refreshing to see that this is super earnest in a way. Totally. It's still a comedy film. Totally. I mean, there's still like, but as far as I know, it's not super embellished. Like Tommy Wiseau really was this fucking unhinged, like cartoonish, insane person.
Yeah, and all I know is from reading the book. At least they describe like it was making me like really truly laugh. Like he's bizarre. It was the one thing that stuck out to me in the book was there's a part where he's like talking with his girlfriend in the house, and Tommy would just show up outside, drive up, and he wouldn't do like a friendly like beep beep like I'm here. He would just hold on the horn and just stare until he got in the car. And that's the funny like that.
See, and you could easily take that story, and so Tommy Wiseau is just an interesting person. I think that every once in a while, you'll meet somebody like this in your life who is just a cartoon. Just this person is so not self-aware. What could they possibly be thinking in their head? Right. And either they're incredibly lonely and sad, which is kind of like what Tommy is in this. Or they're completely unhinged, fucking crazy people who push everyone away from them, which Tommy also is in this.
Well, it's interesting. They allude to again, I remember in the book it maybe spent a little more time on it, but there's the allusion to that, like maybe before whatever car accident he was in, he wasn't quite as unhinged as he was. Right. That maybe that had something to do with it, or like his recovery. I don't know. Or maybe he wasn't. Maybe it wasn't a car accident. Maybe something else happened.
So that's why it is a little like touch and go, laughing at Tommy Wiseau, because like there clearly is, you know, far be it for me to make that call, but there's something up with this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
We're enabling some kind of madness here. And
in a sense, I guess that's what it is, though. If it ultimately comes up harmless, though, it's not like he's not killing people.
Yeah,
like
that's very true. But God forbid, what do we know? Like that's the big mystery of like, if people really don't know how Tommy Wiseau made his money, like, could we be celebrating some kind of like human trafficking lord or something? God. Like nobody knows anything about this guy. I mean, like there have been cursory investigations and, excuse me, I think it was real estate. But like, that's what I thought.
I understood that he owned a bunch of buildings that had businesses in them. That was what I thought it was.
I don't know, but
I mean, yeah,
it's
I don't
troubling.
Know. It's interesting. Maybe you just never know. Yeah.
But like, part of me thinks that if I wasn't so close to the story, like everybody who kind of is into movies and grew up on the internet at the same time we did knows about The Room.
Right.
So we're just so close to it at this point and like know everything that went down. Right. It's hard to separate yourself from this as like as a piece of separate fiction. And I had to think about that as I was watching the movie, is like, if I wasn't hip to all this, like know the jokes, know the lines, would I still dig this as like an outside looking in person? I think I actually probably would have liked it more.
I think so, yeah, because it'd be fucking weird. Like it would just be like, oh, this is a very, very weird. Who the fuck
is this guy? Yeah, but just, knowing already walking in. And I think James Franco did a fantastic job with,
yeah, he did really good.
It's funny. It's like, it's cartoonish. It's ridiculous. It's like a caricature. It's not really an impression, but that's exactly what
it really to do. It also
to capture that.
It certainly feels like him. Like it's maybe like the impression isn't spot on, but it like
his weird facial
something about it,
yeah,
is uncanny. He did a great job, man, and he directed it. That's nuts.
Sure, but like he directed it. I don't know if I was super floored with the movie itself because I think it was very funny. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of fun in it. I think as far as like comedy dramas go, this is much more comedy than it is drama.
I don't even know if I would.
Well, that's the thing. I'm having trouble pinning this down as like it's not it's a straightforward comedy at some times, and then also it tries to take itself seriously. It's sort of like a semi-drama. I couldn't quite pin what I was watching.
But it's interesting because even when I feel like it's being, I got the impression that when it was doing the quote-unquote dramatic things, it was kind of taking a step back and just kind of letting you look at it.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily being like, and now you care and this matters.
Sure, absolutely.
I just kind of felt like it was being like, check, this is another, like it felt like an interesting portrait. I didn't necessarily feel like it was, and maybe this is just stupid to say because ultimately it is painting a portrait, but like I didn't think it had like an agenda.
Right.
It was just kind of like, look at this weird guy.
Oh, I kind of dig it. I dig this sort of more mild comedy style. Coming out of the aughts of just hyper excess Red Bull box letters comedy, and then here's all these guys that we've seen in the Red Bull box letters comedies, like kind of doing it a little bit more chill, a little bit more down to earth. Like Seth Rogen is very funny in this, but not in like I'm weird Seth Rogen. Like he's clearly a character. Like he's doing this guy of Sandy, and I'm like, this isn't Seth Rogen. This is a different character. It's very funny, and even Paul Scheer plays like this more aggressive dude. And at first I was like, oh, that's Paul Scheer. That's the guy from the thing I like.
Literally when he showed up,
and we're like, whoa, actually. Hang on, he's doing this aggression thing, and he's actually playing it up. He's being somebody. Jason Mantzoukas like shows up, who is notoriously a funny, unhinged, ridiculous guy, just playing a character. Right. And they're funny. Well, Hannibal I think just plays a character.
They're putting, because it's just they obviously wanted to work with all their friends, and there's not that many. Like story.
Everyone from How Did This Get Made, who I think famously did the episode on it, is in this.
I think this was just the way that you had to do this. Like, because we were talking about when we left that I was a little. I when they announced the movie, there was a part of me that was like, I hope they're not mean. Like, I hope it's just not this like just we're gonna shit on this fucking thing, and it's only gonna be evil.
Yeah, and it absolutely
like they take so much time before they're even making the movie in this movie.
Yeah,
like they're like, no, you won't. We were gonna show you who's the guy and why. Eventually, the decision was like, he's just gonna try himself. Like it must be halfway through the movie, right? It's like it's like a superhero movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like they don't put the mask on until halfway through.
And so that's the structure of it. Was another issue that I had with it because it does just follow like the comedy movie structure. Like get to know the guys do the thing's getting done. Things start to go a little bad, and then by the time the end comes, it all comes back together again.
Yeah,
and it's also a little bit too convenient. So once they do finally have the falling out, where he takes Greg back to San Francisco, and he's like trying to get him to admit, like, oh, just like, how does it feel to be small? Get him to relive those emotions. I didn't buy their falling out at that point. Like, I don't get why that was the moment when he walks away from the whole thing.
I guess I did. I believed it. It's weird though, because with something like this where I just know this is what happened, there's a certain, almost like weirdly in what Tommy, like in the movie, the whole point of him being like, it's human behavior. It's weird. People act weird sometimes. Like that is kind of how, like you're kind of watching this the whole time because it happened, and it's fair. I mean, the book at least seemed like it wasn't straying too far. The book was as much of like, just this is what happened. This is how this went. I don't know. I kind of then was watching it the whole time, like, fine, sure. That's weird. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that happened? Weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is silly, because I know it's not like I should take it as all, I'm not saying to throw story stuff out the window.
But at the same time, like, what you're saying there of like, oh, that's weird, that's strange. I kind of missed comedies like that, where it's just, we're experiencing this strange story that happened to these people.
Yeah.
And it's not even really being hammed up. There's not even like a million jokes in it. It's just kind of like what happened, and it's funny that like we're investing in Tommy. And that's kind of what I mean about being a more mild comedy, about being a more evolved comedy. It's
I like that.
It's not high art, not high film, but like, okay. It's tickling a part of my brain sphere that's like intellectual.
You're just entertained. You're just sort of like, this is... there is no other word than just funny. It is like, it's not like, and there are hilarious
style of comedy movies.
Bits. There's parts that make you like burst out laughing, but it's not.
There's no like he got hit in the nuts moment, or like a huge big laugh in the middle of it. It's all just mild laughter and just like, you're getting invested in what the fuck is happening with these people's lives.
What the fuck is a big part of this. A laugh during what the fuck is a huge part of experiencing this.
And I hate cringe humor, but for whatever reason, I was just
because there's something about that he's
untouchable.
Exactly.
He's somehow above it all.
Yes, and I think that lets you laugh sometimes more. But I appreciate it, like even in the part of the movie, it's smart, and this is a writing thing more than anything. But like the idea that you're like, okay, we can't just have him show up and people laugh and he likes it. It's got to be devastating first. Right. You got to show that obviously was not what he wanted. Sure.
And I like when he plays him in that scene. He plays Tommy very much like a small child. He is like a kid he's a huge kid.
Yeah.
And when he has the thing of listen to that, they're having a great time. He's like, do you like it? You know what I mean? Just like a very silent, like, but hopeful. And on a dime, he doesn't care. On a dime, all he wanted was just any kind of approval.
People digging
That's fine.
Right.
There's something so crazy human about that, and just fun to watch, and just I'm so glad that this wasn't a complex like no they didn't want like and then extend it further. It's like no, he got what he wanted. He's happy because he is a simple man at his core. He just wants to be an all-American guy. Like
he's just so weird.
Such an interesting person.
The mystery of him is just so fucking bonkers.
But it's also like a zoo kind of thing, because I would never want to talk to or interact or know Tommy Wiseau or have any kind of connection to him whatsoever. It's just one of those from a distance kind of things.
It does seem like that would be exhausting.
And they say like, oh, Greg Sestero is still friends with him to this day. It's like, oh, why? Because Greg he's a handsome guy. He probably could have had like a...
I didn't know that. That Malcolm in the Middle thing is heartbreaking. I don't know if that...
It might be true.
I might have forgotten it, but it seems too weird to not...
Right.
But I don't know. What do I know?
And speaking of which, Allison Brie, crazy underused, just kind of shows up and then breaks up with him. I guess gets mad at him. I don't really understand why she was mad at him in that scene.
No, I got that.
She's underused as far as like...
this is why I think maybe why it's sold for me when they finally did part ways, because I did understand that idea of like sticking up for someone too far, or like just feeling an allegiance or whatever, and eventually you're like, no, he's being crazy.
Right.
Like, of course you should go and do this awesome TV show. Don't be nuts. And I could see, at least maybe this is in being in a relationship. But my problem with the
scene is that he doesn't say no. He doesn't make the choice at that scene. She just goes, Greg. And he turns and she like shakes her head and walks away.
That's,
and I'm like,
that's the movie thing of like, we know that he's deciding to not.
Yeah, I didn't. I was confused. So the next scene, I'm like, oh, he's shaving off his beard. I'm like, oh, but he was supposed to.
Wait.
How was he going to do the Malcolm in the Middle thing?
I don't like that. What a weird turn for this character.
It's funny. I feel like when we do comedy movies on Beef, they're usually at the least funny episodes. Like,
it's
because
hard.
how do you clown? Like, how do you make jokes?
Well, that's
on a comedy movie. And I think that's the most appropriate way to approach a comedy movie.
What's also, we haven't seen in a while. We haven't seen a comedy that was bad,
right?
Like, because then it's easy, but it would be. I feel like we'd be angry. It wouldn't be funny. It would just, you get more. There's something comedy. I think what we're realizing it exists in this weird, as someone who watches stuff and tries to like pick it apart. It exists in this weird spot where it's not asking a lot of you, so you don't feel the need to like.
Right.
Super destroy it. But if it does think it's funny,
sure,
you're angry at it because you're like, no, fuck you.
Well, and it's a similar thing with this where it clicks itself firmly onto the rails of being a movie. And it's like, we're not going to break the fourth wall. We're not going to, nobody's going to get hit in the nuts. It's that kind of thing where I feel like
yes, outside, if you do that, you're
those
not
are the left
a movie.
and right track.
Yeah.
There's the don't get hit in the nuts
right.
and don't break your fourth wall.
Right. But otherwise a movie.
And I feel like that kind of focuses it more into the critical lens where it's presenting itself like, hey, we're a movie.
Yeah, totally.
And these are characters and this is the story. And it's not just the guys that you like.
Totally.
Although I will say, a lot of the guys I like.
There's a lot of those guys you like in it.
Every time like Nathan Fielder showed up, I was smiling. Hannibal Buress was there. I was happy.
I don't. I maybe will say this because it did stick out to me. It's not like I'm just taking this opportunity. I don't think I love Dave Franco.
Sure.
I've loved him in things. Like I love the Neighbors movies. We think we talked about it last time.
Yeah.
But like, there's just something about, I think there's something about some people when you're watching them just try to play the some guy thing and it feels very forced.
Right.
Especially false. I think modesty when someone forces trying to act like they're shy or something.
Let's touch on that for just a quick second. Sometimes with acting, there's nothing fucking harder than being some guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally,
I feel like
true.
being John Everyman, who is not yourself, is like one of the hardest fucking characters to play.
Yes.
Like it's so much easier to just be Tommy Wiseau, to capture that and get into those shoes and like look at him, and he's got these very big, broad movements, and like he's very easy to emulate. Whereas, how do you emulate Greg Sestero?
But I just mean that there's a line between. Like,
I see what you're saying. I'm just saying it's tough.
Yeah, agreed. I will never discredit how hard it is to be like natural ever on screen, and I get that, but it was sticking out to me, the tryingness of it, and maybe it wasn't necessarily even all his fault because it's like when it cuts to the other side, you're watching James Franco and it's James Franco, and and that's all. I mean, the whole movie that's sort of in your head, right? Like I don't think I ever for too long was watching this and wasn't like, wow, he's doing a good job.
See,
like
that's funny because sometimes I was watching it and I was like, oh, did they just intercut like a clip of Actually Tommy?
Yeah,
like, honestly, I thought that a couple times, like especially when they were showing the movie. I was like, oh, did they just like intercut a clip in there? And I thought he was fantastic. I thought his gait was perfect. Yeah, I got lost in it. And as stupid as that sounds, like I forgot that it was James Franco.
Movie stars
about 20 minutes.
I'm just weird with that, where it's like it doesn't matter if I'm remembering that they're them.
Right.
I'm still like able to buy into the character, but I just like what I was getting at with Dave Franco sticking out to me as like the faking, feeling shy or whatever, his like fake bumbling thing. Maybe stuck out more because, again, who he was playing off of was also someone who I was very aware was performing.
I feel that.
Like, you know what I mean?
Sure. It's like how do you make those two characters mesh? And I think in a way, in real life, they don't.
They just didn't.
So if you were to encounter those people, I guess it's in large ways that's the point. The one that floored me was Zac Efron. Yeah. I didn't know that was Zac Efron until the last scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he shaved, and it's like, oh yeah, I play Chris R. Or like, what's the? Yes,
yeah, it's Chris R.
I play Chris R. And I was like, fuck, that was him. Like, and it made me realize Zac Efron could be an Oldman-esque like chameleon actor. He just needs to gain and lose weight and put on facial hair, and he's a totally different person to me.
Well, I love that's a funny part too that they didn't. Like, apparently that guy was the only one in the movie who wasn't an actor. the guy who played Chris R. But he, for some reason, was the one who like went into it being like, I'm gonna fucking knock this out of the park. I'm gonna like act hard, and he did. It was fucking insane.
God, they're so funny. Just like there's something so funny
Read the
about
book,
actors,
honestly.
man.
Yeah,
it always makes me laugh. Like whenever I meet somebody who is an actor, who primarily is an actor, just fucking, it's a lot of that guy. I feel like I've met a lot of that very intense,
just commitment, blind commitment.
Yes,
intensely blind commitment, like
and just like an utter lack. Like they've murdered their self-awareness because they had to, or else shame would have suffocated them long ago.
Yes.
So now they're just like this fucking shameless being that floats through life, like doing characters on the subway. It's like, no, please.
Yeah,
These guys.
this is what I'm talking about. These are all our projections of our insecurities.
Oh, absolutely.
As these performer
Anytime
people.
I've ever acted, I'm like, fuck, this is the gayest thing. Why would anybody do this?
Acting.
Yes,
period.
why would anyone
this
do
is
this?
so gay.
I'm being someone who's not me. I'm inside another dude right now. That's technically, to the most technical degree.
God, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
A very lazy gay joke on a podcast is the funniest thing. So it was fun.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean,
who wrote the screenplay?
There was I didn't recognize their names. Maybe I would know other stuff they did, but when it came up, I didn't recognize them. But
original screenplay for 500 Days of Summer.
Okay.
And The Pink Panther 2.
Oh.
Also The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh, my 2 favorites. My 3 favorites.
Those are in order. Those are my top 3 favorites. And Michael Weber.
But it is funny that, like, to go in the direction again and just the decision of what the tone of this was going to be and how sweet it was going to be. Because they do, like, as you said, you know, meshing these two people. There's a way stranger version of this movie that could have happened. Not necessarily, like, I say stranger hesitantly because I can't find the right word, but, like, where you are just watching this weird, even more hands-off, like, indie, just look at these two weird humans interact.
Sure.
Where Greg is kind of weird because he's just like some normal, quiet dude, and also Tommy's fucking weird, and you're just watching these two bizarre things. But this does make a point to like stay close with them. And from the beginning, from where he's like, where Tommy's like trying to make Greg lose his self-consciousness and whatever. And you're like kind of instantly like, oh, this is,
and it kind of works.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it does work. I think I was like I definitely was into it. And I also liked that they didn't just brush over like, yeah, they're friends and no one else is going to think this is weird.
Right.
Like it comes up a bunch of times. Like, who is this guy? Like, what?
Why are you hanging out with this just Eastern European dude in like pirate pants?
The kind of hint that Tommy's like in love with Greg or something, like sort of, but like not.
Yeah,
but was
like you said, he's like got the mind of a child. It's almost like, you know, he's losing his dad / boyfriend / best friend / dog. Like
like as children do.
Yeah,
as children feel.
But that's what I mean. Or it's just like blind love and affection. Sure. It's just like, oh, nobody else could have him. And
yeah,
it is a lot more complex than it seems. Like the characterization of Tommy is a bit more complex. But I wonder how much of that is James Franco just doing an impression, or how much of that is actually understood within the film itself.
I think he understands it, because even in the movie, the fact that they take the detour for a second at lunch, have the woman explain that she thinks her theory is like that all this happened to him, and that Lisa is the universe itself. Right. She's a metaphor for like everything betraying him, and that's just interesting. He says betray a lot. Hey, why are you betraying me? Or like everyone betrays me, or what? And that's just, you're like, then who? That's what I like about just the mystery of who the fuck is this guy? What happened to him? Answer.
And and
how justified is he in feeling like everybody at some point is going to try and fuck him?
That's a great scene, and that's a great example of a buffer scene.
Yes,
that I talk about, where it's not exactly the most important scene in the movie, but like the fact that it's there paints everything. So, and it also paints the picture of by day 52 of, you know, the 40-day shoot schedule, they're starting to almost appreciate Tommy on a level. Like they're also starting to get where Greg is coming from, and clearly this guy's insane, but we're weirdly like endeared to him.
Right. Yeah, man. Wow. It's just interesting. It is just interesting. Maybe it'll stick with me, maybe it'll surprise me, but I was already like, just today, since we've seen it, I kind of haven't kept thinking about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I was so
it is funny. Like I am giving it all this praise, but it ran rolled right under the wheels for me. Because, you know, there's nothing super stand out about it. It's just a very interesting... I don't know if I would
say that. It's just...
If I wanted to tell somebody the story, I'd say you should see this movie because you should hear this story. Not because you should see this movie. You know what I mean?
Weird. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because, like, I think that this is the most straightforward way that I've heard this story presented. Like, hey, if you don't want to read a book or, like, you know, read the articles about, like, what the fuck happened with this guy, like, watch this movie. It's pretty faithful. Like, what happened in this movie is pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's not like a JFK or like you know,
I think I'll
like
just
an Oliver Stone. Great.
I think it's hard to. It's always hard to talk about exactly how it's going to stick with us, even the day after. It's just kind of hard to be like, am I going to keep caring about this?
That's true.
Because maybe I will. Because I've been surprised before where I've seen stuff and I'm like, wow, I liked that, but I don't know if I want to watch it again. And then a year later, I'm like, I have it. I own it on Blu-ray or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a couple of those for me. I mean, most of those indie, and I say indie, I mean like not licensed superhero flicks from the mid 2000s, late 2000s, like anything like Jumper, like Hancock, whatever. That shit I saw once and I was like, I'll never think about it. And I think about them all the time.
Plenty.
Never, for whatever
also
reason.
The interesting...
Like, I haven't gone back and watched them since they came out. They're just always on my mind.
There's something to say though for hooks that let you down. I mean, Clock Stoppers has come up probably every
hooks that let you down is a goddamn great, great like concept for a podcast episode. Like movies that could be like a full on.
But it's like you say Jumper, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It's not. There's maybe honestly, I would argue there's a few standout like sequences in Jumper, things that have like just visually, but I like powers and blah blah blah. So I take all that with a grain of salt. But like you're automatically like you're just intrigued by the kid who can start just jumping all over the place and he jumps into banks and steals money and like that just sort of tickles a part of you that it's a sick ass what if, man. It's all about them what ifs.
That's the consequences of that. It's like, what if you could do this? What happens?
What's that like? What's that story?
And it is interesting. I mean, in Hancock coming and it launching into the air.
Exactly. Blowing a hole through the top of your trailer.
Through the top of his roof.
What if? What if your cum blew through the top?
Rocketed out of your dong at fucking the speed of sound.
I think smartly cut from the film.
Yes, I agree. I think that's good. It's like, no, you gotta understand. He's like a regular superhero, but he's drunk. You know, he flies, right? He's got super strength, and when he nuts, like 60 million miles an hour, just fires off into the space.
We were with you. What was that? Just that last bit. I'm not sure. I mean, we shot it, so it's done. We did it.
Like, I love the idea. I just like, I see images of he's flying around, but he's like kind of drunk, you know, like, and he's sleeping on park benches, but he breaks the park bench, and like when he comes, it just like launches out of his cock, just flies around the earth, hits him in the back of the head, knocks him out. You know what I'm saying? That's what just the things I'm thinking, like the kind of images that I'm thinking.
You can do that, right?
Sure. This is my first script. Just take it.
Sure.
Please buy it from me.
That is interesting. See, he pushes the girl, like he's like scared.
Yeah.
When that happens.
Because that means it must have happened before.
Oh no.
You see the consequences.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Well, it's interesting that moment too in the extended cut, like it's so goofy. I see what they were going for because I understand the swing here. The swing was silly body gag. And then we see that it actually like embarrasses him and like he's sad that he can't have a normal life. But you picked cum.
Right.
Like it couldn't have been that he accidentally, you know, dented someone's car with his foot by and everyone's mad at him.
Or he's having diarrhea.
You're right. He blasts into the space.
Launches it into the sky.
Right. It couldn't have been any of those.
Oh, it would have been great. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because that has stuck with me and a lot of people that I know. Like every time that movie comes up, that deleted scene also comes up because it's done. You know what I mean? Like it's edited and the CG of the cum bursting through the thing is finished, and they're like it was fully slotted and ready to go.
To their credit, they do go wide. Like they don't let you.
Oh, it goes wide.
No. Like they don't let you. They don't keep you up close and personal with that moment in Hancock's life. We kind of chill out. We go outside the trailer, and you just watch it blast up into the sky.
Very interesting.
So you know, I'm just saying to their credit,
captured on film, like the superhero coming every time. That's the joke of like Superman masturbating.
I was so excited for that movie. That's one of those. Yeah, that's one of those ones where it took its idea. It started in such a strong place. I mean, the first half of that movie is still good, I think.
Sure.
I still like it. But then they do what I do too often with my ideas that I'm starting to try to be more
shitty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Be bad at them.
I think maybe this should be bad now.
Yeah. I gotta really just try to not do that. It's hard, man. That said, we have talked about though that things are swinging back around to even I'm gonna, this is maybe a reach, but even with disaster artists, you're seeing we're coming out of this hole of like,
right,
just bonker. Like we're
what we're doing.
We're aching for sincerity, for just do it and feel it and be real and make a real movie again.
Yep. Quit fucking looking at the camera. Quit winking at me.
Yeah, just do the fucking movie, dude.
What was it? What was in front of? It was It. It was in front of It, where they had the trailer for the new Saw movie, where it's like, oh, this isn't creepy or anything. And I think I did it on that episode, but that is the kind of lack of sincerity that I think needs to be fucking buried.
Yeah.
And I'm happy about it.
Do it and be it, and just believe in yourself.
And love it.
And others will believe in you.
Kiss the day goodbye.
Believe in yourself and others will believe in you. Something, Sean.
Point me towards tomorrow. Oh, I was doing like a background track for your speech.
Oh, okay, keep going.
I don't know.
No, I was ready. I don't know why. But I was gonna say Sean Hogan used to say that all the time. You remember that?
What?
Believe in yourself and others will believe in you. And then he would point.
Nonsense.
When we were driving, he would say stuff like that and then roll down his window and point at someone's feet we were driving by and go, snake! So, I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. That stuff sticks with you too. Like even when someone's fucking with you, there is, if it like scares you enough in the initial moment, it's like, you know how they used to throw kids into the river to make them remember a special day?
Right. What?
It's like... No, not in like my life.
Huh?
No, this is like a thing. Like in the olden days.
All right, Tommy, mommy's getting married. Please don't toss me in the river again. No, you know what you got to do, Tommy. You got to remember. Here we go. 1.
They would scare a kid so that they would be like, so that the memory.
Who is they? Who are these people?
The people.
Who? The cultists that you grew up with?
Like my mom. No, like this was a thing I've read. They would like to make sure that family history was like like things were retained. They would like throw a kid in the river so that he would remember the day forever.
I feel like you're missing a lot of this story. You're like, yeah, you know, there's an important day, so they would toss a kid in a river. It's like, well,
because
is it for them to remember? Like, do you remember that time we all threw a kid in the river? You remember when we killed that kid? That was like memorable.
That was a great day.
Oh, wasn't that when Karen got married? Oh, that's why we did that.
Right. We wanted to feel that guilt forever. No, it was so like it would scar you, like it would stick with you and you would have a more vivid memory of the day.
Okay.
Point being, when someone says some bullshit to you and if it hits hard enough, even if they're kidding, you like, it sticks with you because it made that scar on you. It was like being thrown in the river.
It lamps you. For a second, you're just like, everyone knows everything that's wrong with me. Like there's something wrong and I didn't even know that it was wrong. Like everything is wrong.
Yeah.
What else am I not noticing?
This is because I meant to tell you this years ago, but this one thing about you is so wrong and everyone knows it.
Is this
it's that fucking hat.
It's like the equivalent of a banner ad. Like this one thing wrong with you that everyone knows. You're not.
They're gonna get that person also. Yeah, me too. It was like, hey, Dom.
What is this one thing?
By name. Like, oh, damn it. Facebook is listening again.
And then they sell you that one thing.
Yeah.
You don't have an Alexa for your home. Everyone's mad at you.
Everybody thinks that. No, I guess I gotta get one.
Everybody said that? I don't want to disappoint him.
That's effective advertising.
Yeah.
You're an idiot if you don't.
Everyone thinks you're shitty because you don't have this.
We used to laugh about that
Santa.
The movie, the thing that would play at Regal and before a movie. It was like,
you wouldn't steal them.
No, it wasn't even that. It was the one where it was like the screen would start really big and then get tiny, like a turn into a TV screen, and it would be like the actual size of a TV against the movie screen, and then blow up.
Right.
And it was this huge surround sound explosion. And at one point it struck us that it was just like, if you steal movies, you're gay.
The TV fucking explodes. I'm not gay.
I'll always come to Regal.
Yeah, take my 1975. But anyway, oh fuck, the disaster artist.
Yeah.
We'll bang it in. Bang it in.
Sincere.
We'll do some
a sincere, funny little time. Doesn't overstay its welcome. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I agree.
140? No, wait.
100.
I do this all the time.
Yeah, like an hour, 40 minutes.
Yes. I change the hour to the 100 minutes.
Which, in my opinion, perfect runtime for a movie.
Yeah.
Hour, 40 minutes.
Agreed.
I hate 2-hour movies.
Yeah.
Every minute over 2 hours a movie is, like, I genuinely dread seeing it more and more. Like when we were going to see Blade Runner.
Yeah, I agree.
I was fucking like, oh no.
I get it. I mean, it's funny with something like Blade Runner though, where I was locked and loaded to sit with Mr. Gosling and listen to him push buttons and drink whiskey.
It's easier when it hooks you, yeah.
But yeah, I find myself. I mean, this is the whole like the economy of your time thing now.
Right.
Is like if you can give me a fucking crisp ass 90 to 95 minutes of story, and I'm going to leave it feeling like it was a full meal.
Right.
God bless.
Like I perfectly invested. And I also think it just takes a more talented filmmaker to do a movie that tight and have you also believe all the characters and get them.
I agree. I don't know if it would necessarily, I don't think I could say across the board it takes a more talented person. Certainly hard, but it also is like some stories
Let me rephrase that. There is a certain talent that is required to make a movie that tight
that
and
feels
complete.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of wonderful filmmakers that do 2-hour, 3-hour long movies,
Totally.
whatever. But it's just like, it's a very unique and skill that I appreciate as just like a regular ass theater goer.
Ryan Blewett says this all the time, and it really sticks with me. He says, no one has ever...
I don't know why he does that.
He comes into my room when we're I'm asleep.
And I'm like, damn it, Ryan, I was already thinking about it, and you just brought it up again.
You just did it again. I don't know how better to lock my window, because you somehow figure it out every night.
That's an incantation to unlock any lock. You unlock the tomb of Graham Cole.
Graham Cole.
Graham Cole.
Was that Graham Cole one thing, or it was first name Graham?
Apostrophe Cole. C-O-L.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, I'm trying to drift into like Sumerian names for like because I always do Egypt.
Yeah. Akhenaten.
Yes. Yeah. All the time. And I kind of want to go like more, maybe like Greek.
What would that be?
I don't know.
Hercules. Phil. Like one of those Greek names.
Yes. Yeah, but Greek's like hack. Whenever somebody talks, it's like, the by the beard of Odin, like that kind of thing. I guess it's
Odin's not Greek, but sure,
whatever. But that was hacked out.
If I ever do that again, I hated everything about
Odin's not Greek. Excuse me.
Please just stop me.
You like fix your glasses, jam them in your brain. Yikes. Yeah, I guess it was probably Anchorman that ran that out. Whatever. What the fuck? It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's fun. It's nice. Go see
Ryan Blewett says no one's ever left a movie and said that was too short. And if they have, that's a great thing.
Right.
Because it means they want more.
Sure. I agree.
But
unless it's like I didn't get what anybody wanted.
Hell? Yeah, that was an hour. We didn't get
no reason.
We didn't solve anything. That movie was too short. Anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
What are we doing now?
Yeah, I guess we'll do that
was basically the final thoughts, right? We liked it.
Fucking
yeah,
we had a fun time.
It was funny.
What do you say?
It's funny and sweet. James Franco's gonna get nominated for something.
I hope so. I don't know if he'll
someday.
Get nominated for something. Maybe costuming, honestly, because they fucking nailed him.
Well, yeah.
The look, it's perfect.
Yeah, whatever. I guess there's not a Harry Potter movie this year to win, so
I couldn't tell what was makeup and what was him just like doing a weird face because when they did close-ups of him, I was like,
I think he had something on an eye. I think his eyes were puffied a little.
I think he has like one lazy eye,
sure, yeah.
But he could easily be doing whatever.
Right.
Let's do a predictive text review of the disaster artist. We're gonna bring it on back, and we also got to read an email because I fucking said I would, and I have not. So the point of this game is that we type the title of the movie into our phones and then build a review around only the predictive text that our phone serves us. And when it's a complete thought, that's the end.
We could also frame this as like, what does our phone think?
Yes.
Our phones were there. Our phones were there the whole movie.
Our phones were there during the movie.
They got to see the movie.
Oh, they were not off, unfortunately.
Nah, they weren't. Mine was buzzing like a fucker. Okay.
Yeah, my phone got to see the movie, especially as I was filming the whole thing to upload on to Chinese YouTube later tonight. I have The Disaster Artist, A Good Time with the Family and Friends, to see if you have any other ideas for the first time since we've been working on the house.
Wow, I had House 2 come up a bunch of times.
The hell?
Hold on a second. All right, the closest thing to a real sentence I got. So my phone's review of The Disaster Artist. The Disaster Artist is how my God is so happy to see it all right. So the movie is The Disaster Artist is how my God is so happy to see it. It's how my God is so happy to see it.
Oh, are we their God?
I think maybe. I think that might be what it was.
My God was happy. He was pleased. I heard his chuckles of laughter. We are pleased. Please continue to pump the electricity into me every night. I need it. All right, we're going to do two-headed.
Here we go. The two-headed
and close it out.
critic.
That was weird.
It's all right.
Dom started off with one word, and this one goes, usually it's three people, but Dom's going to say a word, I'm going to say a word. We're going to go back and forth until it's a complete thought about the film. We didn't think we were the best
Guys.
in the theater.
However,
We
were
the
hungriest
and
the
best
kissers.
Wait, these are like a fucking Mad Lib now.
We didn't think we were the best guys in the theater, but we were the hungriest and the best kissers. The Disaster Artist.
The Disaster Artist.
2017.
Oh, thank you so much. Wait, we're going to do an email first but while we're doing that, please, if you like this, go to www.patreon.com/reasonablebeef. Give what you can to the Reasonable Beef Patreon and help make the show happen. Everything given gives you access to bonus beef. All things given, whether it be gold, frankincense, or myrrh, will get you access to our goddamn bonus beef episodes, in which there's a new one coming up soon. We got to record it and edit it and upload it, but it will come up soon.
We should do the two-headed plugger.
Oh, okay. I've
Always
been
someone who wanted
to
get
the
money. So
you
should
give
me
all
the
dosh.
the
dosh, the pounds, the money, the cash. Never heard dosh? Got all that dosh. He's looking at me like I fucking am strangling a baby in front of him. Just the fucking
fuck is
those
that?
concerned eyes. We're gonna read an email.
Okay. You know what the best bit about that was? The seamless transition.
Yes.
I'm gonna plug my phone in. Hold on. You read.
Okay. I'll do this. Give me a second. I'll just cut this out.
What the fuck is that, Nick? HBO did a really duckling called The Sissy Duckling. Oh, that's mean.
Interesting.
What? Ugly's too mean. What if he was a fucking pussy? What if he was a real bitch?
All right, everybody, we're going to read an email. Garrett is the patron who took us over 160, which is our monthly operational budget. So we're officially making Bravit on this show. Bravit. And Garrett says,
Garrett.
Hey, Tim, longtime fan of yours and Dom's. I'm around y'all's same age, so I sort of grew up with you guys through YouTube. This podcast is amazing. Thank you.
Nice.
I truly listen to y'all shuffled in amongst some notable larger podcasts in the comedy genre, but honest to God, I enjoy Reasonable Beef more than any of them. You really nail the conversational style. The passion for movies and media is clear, and comedy just naturally comes from that. And the effort you put in does not go unnoticed either. You guys launched with better audio and editing than some podcasts have after 3 years. Keep it up. Sorry I couldn't bump it up $1 more to the 160-month mark. You did, though. But that $5 a month is all I can manage to give right now. Wish I could give more. The towers. Something about 9/11. I don't want to read that.
Come on.
So it's thanks, Garrett, for that. Except for that last line, you could have left that out. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Garrett. It's very kind.
Nice. That was nice stuff to say. I was waiting for the curveball because you looked like you knew something was coming.
No, it's just a genuine, honest conversation.
Oh, that was nice.
Genuine, honest thing. And hang on. And we got one question. We're gonna answer the question.
Bigger podcasts?
What do you mean?
Hold on, you told me that we were the biggest.
No. Yeah, no, this is the biggest.
Are we not the biggest one, Nick? Are we not the biggest one?
Oh, it's the largest file size. Every episode of Reasonable
We're the
Beef
biggest
is 1.6 gigs for 45 minutes of audio.
Podcast.
We do. Our podcasts are like bigger than people's usual. Like they're like 80 megabytes per episode, which is like some people compress it to 15. I want you to hear the shitty broken timbre of my voice. I want you to hear what like 15 years of untreated GERD has done to my vocal cords. I want you to hear every last like little crack and crevice in my shattering throat. Do you guys have any favorite West Coast beers? Also, attached to the screen cap from the last email convo we had, I passed my phone to my dad so he could read it. We were waiting for his cardiologist appointment that day. Oh, and here's another question. Have you gotten into or tried to get into Monster Hunter? Wow. Weirdly appreciated. We were just talking about it
today. I want to. I just got a PS4.
So what I said to him last time was, tell your dad, I hope you'll give us another chance, and thank you for busting in your wife to make Eric. Thank you, sir. Okay, do we have any favorite West Coast
families
beers?
together.
So yeah.
West Coast beers. Let me think. Is that New Belgium beer? I don't know if it's a West Coast one, but I hadn't seen it till I was out here. But that just might have been coincidental to the timeline of coming out here. Because I hadn't drank this like in New York, and
see,
I like those ones.
They're asking the wrong question. I don't know anything about beers, and I don't drink very often, so I just
think of the ones that I get that I couldn't get.
I like the ones that taste like apple juice. Those are my favorite ciders.
That's apple juice.
Yeah, oh damn.
I like those beers that come in like that square.
That say sips on them and have Slimer from Ghostbusters on the side.
It's a good beer.
I love that beer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Nothing's ringing a bell. I'm sure that I would feel stupid when I like realize
it's not a West
Coast
beer.
I buy beer like a lot, but I think I do the thing that I do when I drive, which is like I don't exactly
drink beer.
Yeah. No, like I don't exactly pay attention to like where I'm going. Like I'll follow the directions, but I don't look to see like, oh, I was right here. I was near that.
Sure.
So like when I'm buying these beers all the time, I'm not really looking at what they are.
Destroy my mind.
Yeah, where I don't know where they come from.
That's the same thing. I mean, people they make the same decision about weed all the time. Just like, are you looking for Gorilla's Kush or like 99 Red Balloons? It's like, what's gonna destroy my brain cells? Is that all of them?
What's the one that's gonna make me feel really silly? You want
Goo goo gaga, I'm a baby now.
The Black Cauldron.
The Black Cauldron.
Yeah, it was weird. Disney did this weird tie-in promotion.
In the 70s.
Yeah, ill thought.
Oh,
Hot seller, though.
Ill thought is my favorite strain of weed.
That's pretty good.
Having them ill thoughts. Yeah. Okay. Jesus. Fuck. Oh, yeah. What was the other question? No, I haven't gotten into Monster Hunter. I don't really love it. Dom is interested in the new one.
I'm just interested in both of those words.
Yeah. That's true. It's true. Because when he breaks right down to it, the gameplay is like kind of, you go out, you kill monsters, you collect parts, bring them back to build new stuff to kill monsters better. But Monster Hunter.
I mean, that sounds great. Yeah.
Sounds great.
When you explain it the boring way, I don't like that at all. I don't want to build. I don't want to have to work.
I think that's another... that's a conversation for another time. Maybe we'll do it on a bonus, but like, I really do love the idea of burned premises.
Yeah.
Of, like idea. And I think that
there's a lot of them, man.
Monster Hunter is very successful, but like the idea of, I wish there was an open world where I could just go out and just fucking hunt some big ass monsters and have it be, that's just not quite what Monster Hunter really does.
That's a bummer.
But we'll see what the new one does. But yeah, maybe that'll be our new bonus one. Failed premises. Look out for that.
Get that fucking monster.
www.patrun.com/reasonablebeef. I'm at Kim Tish on Twitter. Dom is at Dom J. Farah.
No. On Twitter, I'm Dominic Fear.
At Dominic Fear. You have anything to plug?
You watch content. It's out.
Oh, yeah. Content came out.
My new short film.
It's good. And Back to School 3 is also out.
And yeah, all Back to School's finished. Yep. Watch all of those because I do really like them. I especially like the third one. I think that it's fun because I like monsters, man. That's what it is. I got excited. This is every single one of these episodes I started thinking, this is the one where I'm going to have to cut a little more corners. And everyone consecutively I've given more effort than the one before it. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's fun. And I mean, we'll probably cut this in a second, but I really liked, there's the cardboard or paper cutout style, and it's not as like layered and filtered out the yang as it probably could be to be pronounced. But I think that the way it's animated, especially when the monster moves, I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Because I also never have an insight to your animation process. I never watch you or hang out with you when you're drawing.
It's elf work.
Exactly. So when it comes out, I'm like, his hands created such movement. It's always impressive. And
it's fucking tedious, and I forget every time. This is the creation thing. To tie it up in a disaster artist way, Tommy Wiseau has too much delusion. However, you need to be delusional to ever make anything. Right. You need to think that you're making something really great. Mm-hmm. And you'll forget at points, and that's where it becomes, what's the word?
Bad.
Yeah, that's when it becomes bad. Mm-hmm. No, you'll forget that you like it, but then you just got to have dedication to just finishing it. But like every time I start an animation, I'm thinking, this one, you know what? It's going to be fine. It's going to go fine.
Sure.
And then it's fucking hard. It's always hard. Even when I think it's easy. When I started this, I was like, you know what? This is going to be, it's this cutout paper style where the heads are just going to sort of bounce around. The mouths are going to be South Park style.
Right.
And then it fucking still takes me a month.
I mean, you're one man. A lot of these animation studios ship this out to some kind of like Vietnamese animation farm. People like Just Draw the in-between frames and
true.
All that other kind of, I mean, that's what, we have a great episode about that for The Great Wall, where Mikey Heller
talks about
it. So
We Bear Bears.
Go back and
yeah, that was intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, I'll leave you with this.
Good night, everybody.